Hey, what's up guys? Z the Streets. Today we're gonna change spark plugs and drop in our new K&N aftermarket filter for the Triumph 2013 Triumph 675 Street Triple R. This is with ABS. This goes for all my British people, Australians, everybody in Europe as well, not just America. This is all the same bike. First step, I have it up on the stands. Gonna take the seat off, get that out of the way, and then I'll come show you guys what to start doing here to take the old filter out and then access the spark plugs and coils. So let's go do that. Alright, so I got the key. Gonna put it in the key spot for the seat. Gonna get the seat up. I have a sergeant seat, so your seat might be just slightly different, or if you have a different aftermarket seat, but it's all pretty much the same in here. You got your battery, your fuse boxes, your relays, and then you got your OBD stuff over there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the Allens for that right there, and I'll tell you which one it is. So I got it 5 mil.
Yeah, let's take my 5.
Oops, don't want to do that. Loosen her up. And go on the other side. So close. There we go. There we go. Just do it on the top like that. Loosen them up. Alright, once you've loosened the two 5mm Allen screws, what you want to do is you want to get it to the last thread and take that washer so you don't lose it or it doesn't ding up your tank. And same thing on the other side. Alright, so now we're going to lift up the tank. Before we do so, make sure you straighten up your bars. Lift it up, just like that. Make sure everything's closed. Now that we got the tank up, as you can see, you got a whole bunch of modules here. You got to disconnect each one of these and disconnect them from the airbox with these screws. I'll let you all know. Alright, for all these mounting screws for these for this electrical components, it's going to be a 7mm. I don't know if you can see that. 7mm. It's going to fit right in. You want to use metric on metric bikes, obviously. So obviously the airbox as well is going to be 7mm because the British are smart and they don't like to mix up bolts everywhere. I'm dumbass too. Forgot to mention, take your battery off whenever you're messing with the electrical stuff. Always be the smart one, unless you're like me and you just start unplugging things and then your bike just starts freaking out like, oh hey, why you unplugged me? So yeah, what I do is just take the negative off and with 10mm full, that's what I use, a 10mm on, I guess it's a regular stock battery. I don't know what Triumphs use, but it's regular battery for the Triumph. Stock 10mm, just take it on there and take it off. Easy day. Now we're gonna hit these 7mm bolts on the airbox. There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the airbox itself. And I probably hidden one somewhere. I'll let you all know, but most likely not. Yeah, it's gonna look like 8 on the airbox. That'll take the airbox off, unplug anything under it, and then I'll show you my filter. It's a stock filter. Alright, got all the bolts out We're gonna slowly remove the air box. There you go. Because I do not know what's under. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we got. Let's see here. We got. Can't really see it. You got a plug right here. You're gonna undo that and then take the air box off. There we go. Okay. So got that plug off. Now you can see the whole filter. So we got here is a stock air filter, as you can see. Got that metal mesh in the back to catch any bigger debris, and then you have the regular stock. Let me put this back down and show you guys the K&N replacement. All right. So this is the K&N replacement filter for the stock filter. Now, a major difference is that even though this is a smaller area than the stock filter, it's got a better insulation, as well as it's very open than the multiple skinny paper on this one. And it does not have that extra grill in the back. Weight wise, they both about feel the same. I think the K&M may be slightly heavier, just by maybe an ounce, but all in all, really good material. I mean, I just pulled this out of packaging, so I still gotta clean it a little bit, but really good material. I could definitely look and see like that this is gonna let a lot more air in through the filter than this, how it like restricts, and that's not good. I mean, this is 20,000 miles of filter right here, and I'm excited to hear a little bit more of the throttle bodies opening, and just a little bit more action. Now, if you're wondering why my throttle body is a little bit like dirty too, is I've gone and done a mod. I don't know if it's a common mod, but from what I've heard is it's a modification to let more airflow in through the front. So as you can see, you can't really see much, but there used to be a shield right here. You can see more here. There used to be a shield right here, and it only had air ducts on the bottom, but I had gone in and removed that, and now it's just a whole ram air through the frame, rammed right into the airbox. So I believe it could maybe give you a little bit more power. People say that it does. I'm not too sure. I haven't gone on the dyno, but I definitely felt somewhat of a throttle response difference on the removal upon that piece. And hopefully that's the same case with this K&N filter here. Is slightly better response and slightly more induction of air. I'm not really worried about power, because obviously it's a 600cc bike, so I mean it's got enough power as it is, and it's light as hell. So with that being said, I'm just going to clean my my throttle bodies. I'm going to clean my air box, and then I'm going to put the K&N into here after the spark plug. So I'm going to remove the air box out. The bolt that's directly right here, you can't really see it, and remove. The bolt that's right here is a 8mm. Gonna crank that loose. A little tough there. Yeah, so I'm gonna crank that loose, and then I think, let's see here, I don't see much on the body itself. I'm gonna see if that's the only bolt that holds it down, but I'm pretty sure there's more. All right, so after you took that 8mm screw out, you're gonna take your metric sizes, metric Allens. You're gonna get I believe a 4mm. These are 4. And unscrew the velocity stacks. And what that does is you take them out. There's a gasket either between the airbox or right under the throttle body. So you make sure you want to change that too. Now that I got them out, there's hoses on each side of the throttle body. You're going to take a hose clamp and just push the hose down. Same thing with the other one. Alright, now that you've taken the hoses out on each side, you're going to lift up and you're going to pull out. And now you have access to the top of your engine. You see the coils here on each side. And I got a nice little buggy. He's been in here for a good minute. So, now that we're in here, you can see the coils right there. It's really simple. I mean, I've messed with bikes that are so incredibly hard. This is actually really simple. You just take these out, you get the coils out, you can change the plugs. This is just incredible. You got your drive-by throttle, your drive-by cable. Right here, it's gonna open the throttle bodies. Now my throttle bodies are dirty, so I am going to clean these before I do everything in here. I'm actually going to clean in here as well. This is all dirty, as well as this area right here for the air. I'm going to clean that as well. Other than that, this engine's got 20-something thousand miles and it still looks really incredible. No major rust anywhere, no anything. I just had a couple bugs lodged in here, but other than that, I mean, this is incredible. I'm going to re-grease the cable, make sure that's good, and all in all, injectors work fine, everything works fine in here. So I'm going to disconnect the cables from each of the each of the coils, and then hopefully this won't be in the way, but hopefully I can pull the coils out no problem and get to the spark plugs and pull them out and show you the new ones and the old ones and put the new ones back in. So here we go. So I'm just experimenting now, but these coils are free to turn, so I'm guessing that these are not bolted in. So I'm just gonna get a something to pry them out, not too much on one side, just put my finger on the other side, pry the other side and pull up. Hopefully that'll come out. Other than that, I'll tell you guys after my progress. Alright, so progress. What I've done was I took a long flathead screwdriver, put my hands on the coil and just slowly lift it up and pop right out. No problem. So I'm going to pull them out with the middle coil. There's just this bolt right here that has this bracket right here for that 8mm on the throttle, as I was on the airbox, the bottom bolt. What we're going to do is we're going to loosen this one and we're just going to flip that over so I can pop that coil out. Coils out, I've laid them out right here. They're all perfect, none of them are burnt. They're actually, funny enough, they're made by I don't know if you can see, they're Mitsubishi makes Triumph coils, stock OEM. So let me explain what went on here. So for the far left coil, which is right over here, I moved this tube. I had to disconnect the wires up here and move the whole harness over to pull the pull the coil out of that hole right there. So when I get the new spark plugs and all that, hopefully that won't be a pain in the butt, but I am going to clean every hole and this whole area once I'm done. But the middle one was easy, right one was semi-hard, but not really as hard as that one over there. All I had to do is just move the ABS cable, the brake cable, and detach this wiring and just pop it right off. But other than that, coils are out. I'm gonna clean them up, put some grease on them. Gonna get the old spark plugs out. We're gonna compare and contrast and put the new one's in, clean everything out, plug everything back up. I'm gonna double check all my work, clean the throttle bodies because they are a little dirty, and just re-grease the cable. Other than that, so far so good. Nothing major or any defaults, any errors on my part, or with 26,000 miles on the bike. Still going strong, so that's what's up. Okay, for the spark plugs, it is a 16 millimeter. We're gonna put it in, crank it on loose. Once I pretty much have it really on loose, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the coil, and I'm just gonna poke the coil in there and just pull out the spark plug with it, instead of having those weird spark plug specialty tools. Should come pre-gapped. I always check. Mine were pre-gapped, so you always want to check too, every time, especially because not all the time the box is going to bounce around. It's going to damage the plugs or damage the ends of the electrode. But yeah, always check. So once you're done screwing, just pull the hose out. Grab your 16 mil again and gently go down and hand tighten it. Once it gets pretty tough, you can get your ratchet out, tighten it from there. Alright, so I've cleaned everything here. Throttle body's cleaned. I cleaned all the springs, greased the cable up, lubed it back up, plugged all the coils back in with the new plugs. Everything's fit. Plugged all these back in. I'm gonna put the bracket in here now. There it is. So that bracket goes inside right there and just bolts up like that. Just like that. Now I'm gonna clean the bottom of the air box, get all the stuff out of there. Reinstall the air box, make sure everything in here is good to go. Don't have any crumbly dirt or anything in the intake. Yeah. So far so good. All right. So I got the box installed now. You got to make sure these gaskets under the air box are in. Make sure you didn't lose those, or else you'll have a nice big air gap. Clean the box pretty much. Clean the foam. Just that little corner right there. I'll get rid of it Q-tip. But got the 8 millimeter bolt in, and now I'm gonna hook on the sides and then throw back on the velocity stacks. Okay, so it took me a minute, but I've got this hose on this side and this hose on this side finally put back on. Center bolts on. Now I'm gonna throw the velocity stacks on and continue the installation. Alright, with the lower air box on, clean the new K&N filter. We're just going to put it into the little bars on each side. Just slide it down, make sure that gap's good and open. Make sure that sits in there nice. Gets a good seal. There we go. And then I'll get the upper air box and put that on, screw it down, get the plugs. Make sure you don't forget that plug I had over here. Here it is, this plug right here. Make sure you get this one back onto the air box. Alright, so make sure you got that plug back mounted. It's going to go through right there and sit on the top as well. We're going to push down. Well, actually, we're going to lift this back up and make sure it's aligned, but you push down, make sure that wire's in there as well. Start plugging everything back up and bolt down the air box. So the upper air box is on. I'm going to put the K&N sticker right over here. for the warning. And then I'm gonna mount the last 3 bolts on here. Be aware of this hose right here for the sensor. If you didn't unbolt the sensor, there's a hose that you take off that's right underneath the sensor. I'm just gonna tighten down the sensor as well as plug it back up right here, and then mount everything else. Other than that, once all this is done, lower the tank and then redo the battery, and then crank her up and see what's up. Alright, I got everything hooked up. All the plugs are back on. All the connections are on. The air box is put on. Got the K&N sticker on. That's all done. So far, nothing moves. None of the hoses are good. None of the hoses. All the hoses are good. That connection's good. That hose down there, that's on. That's good. Yeah, I'm excited. We're almost done. Now is to take the tank and slowly put it back on. But before, I'm gonna drop you because I have some stuff right here, so I'll show you guys here in a second. Okay. Alright, so tank is now laid out. I'm gonna make sure none of the hoses are crimped on the other side as well. Alright, so got the battery put back on. Now is the tank mounting bolts. I'm gonna screw them back on. Make sure you hand screw them on first. I already did. I'm just screwing them on now, but make sure you hand screw them on, because you don't want to strip these fine threads. These are nice, elegantly fine threads. So make sure you do that. I'm gonna screw the other side, and then I'll show you guys startup here in a bit. All right, get a cranker now. Alright, that was probably the gum out that I threw into the chamber, so let's see. She's burning now. She is running a little on the timing. I think it's a little bit forward. She does have a little timing forward, and I think that's because the computer is trying to figure out what the heck to do with this K&N system. But I do have to get it tuned with the exhaust and the filter now on, so that could be another reason why. I'm gonna bring it around, try it around, see how it feels. Alright guys, good news. It did start. I rode it around, and it sounds incredible. You can hear the throttle when you throttle up. Other than the beautiful exhaust, you can definitely hear the air just suck in, and it is glorious. This is probably one of my favorite bikes I've ever ridden, I've ever had, and it is just a beautiful bike. I love this bike to death. It is such a good bike.